Welcome to my channel, folks, and welcome new subscribers. Thank you for coming on board. In this video, I want to talk about dollar stores. Dollar stores and maybe retailers online where you can get some really cheap stuff, really inexpensive stuff for your tabletop games. Okay, so this is my little presentation for you guys. And here at Tabletop Creations, as the title implies, I'm all about building my own stuff. I like building terrain. It's part of my hobby, and uh, it's just something that I really enjoy as part of the gaming hobby. Um, the nice thing about wargaming today is that you have so many different options. You can go, if you prefer laser cut terrain, there are companies that deal with that. If you prefer 3D printed terrain, that's actually becoming more and more available to gamers. You can go that route. Whatever you want to do, there's a lot of options. And so if you're still the type of person that's kind of on a budget, or you just like building your own stuff, then of course your homemade terrain is an option that's still there. And so what I do, I go to dollar stores, and like I said, this is not new. A lot of people do this in the hobby. And I go ahead and I look for these kinds of toys. Now, a lot of things are actually ornaments for like Halloween, like this skeletal scorpion. I am planning to do some kind of building with this, some kind of desert structure, maybe similar to Egyptian or something like that. But I'm going to have this giant skeletal thing as part of the structure. And so, on the subject of Halloween, Halloween is a great time to go out and search for, dollar stores and see these kind of gribbly critters that they sell. And these, I repainted these spiders. These came, I actually magnetized these because I attached these to bases. And so I have like a little magnet on there. Um, but these have really good detail. I bought these for $1 in a dollar store a while back, and they came in a bag, all different colors, and I just repainted them. And now, I have no problem using this in a game, like a game of Rangers of Shadow Deep or whatever game, Frostgrave, whatever. Use them as giant spiders. That's something that really occurs in fantasy a lot. And here's another one. And the nice thing about this little spider bag is that they were all different. They were all like represented different species of spiders, right? So this is more like a wolf spider. This is more like a tarantula or something. Whatever. The point is, you just repaint them, and here's the little magnet for that one. You repaint them, and you have an excellent sort of a giant spider for your games, and you paid $1. So you have to paint them. You actually get to practice your painting as well. This is a Reaper spider, and here's a sort of a comparison. The Reaper spider, Reaper bones, and the spider that I got at the dollar store, okay? And this is a Dungeons and Dragons spider. This is a smaller scale, and this was from some box of D&D figures I got a long time ago. And I actually did magnetize this thing too. And, you can kind of compare them, and they're kind of creepy. I love them, right? But point is that I got this one for, $1, and they just come in packs. You can also get those, like, spider rings that they have for Halloween. Clip off the rings, and you have a spider. You can get flies and scorpions and all kinds of gribbly crawlies, including skulls, right? And so Halloween is excellent for your really inexpensive materials that you can get for your terrain, for your wargaming hobby. Okay, and so moving on, these toy knights are another example. These come in like gray and black, and I don't forget where I forget where I got these. I believe it was from a dollar store somewhere, and it came in a big pack, and they're actually not bad. I mean, not bad detail, considering that they're just toys. And again, I'm trying to have the camera cooperate. There you go. Um, you know, for practicing your paint jobs, not bad. I use these as statues, and you know, in games like Frostgrave, you have like living statues in some of the scenarios. Uh, this needs a little more painting, a little more wash, and you know, I kind of just did a quick thing. I sprayed these with a texture paint to kind of give it a little more granulation. The other thing I do is when I cut these, like if I want to make a broken statue, on the cuts, since they're so smooth, I usually spray that with texture paint or really fine craft sand and kind of glue it to the edge there so you get like a little of that crumbly texture. Okay, and those are my statues. And then I even use those same knights as statues in my simple sort of foam wall that I use to recreate my indoor environments when I'm playing like dungeon crawls or whatever it is, right? And I had a project of the week dedicated to this whole making modular walls. So see all the uses that I gave those little toy knights. Um, and now we're going to move to something a little bit different. Okay, so let's go to this little pile of bones that I have here for a minute. And again, these were, I think that I purchased these online from Amazon. They were a couple of bucks, and literally a couple of bucks. And I didn't even pay shipping because I'm a member of Prime. You know, there was like a little, some tax associated with it. It was like $2 and something. You know, sometimes you find these kits for $5 kits, and they're not kits. They're toys. But check this out. I mean, guys, this has a pretty good detail. Now, the the only problem, of course, is the scale. These are really big, and here is the skeleton. These were actually a lot bigger than I thought, and so that's kind of the gamble when you're you know looking for these things. Not a bad toy, uh, but what I do is I chop them up, right? Get all of the little bones, as many of the little bone segments as I can, and I do a little filing or whatever. And I make like a bone heap, including with some of the shields, some of the weapons. And there's my giant graveyard. Literally, the bones of giants who have met their demise in the battlefield. And they're scattered, you know, in a pile now or whatever. And I can use it in my terrain pieces. I can literally make a bone pile. Um, this is sort of the bag that I got, and I'm gonna refocus. There you go. And so, see, I mean, it's a lot of skeletons, and I'm really, really just amazed at the variety. That you know, there's archers in there. There's a bunch of different weapons and whatever. So, I mean, really, for a couple of bucks, a few bucks, whatever it is, even $5 for the amount of figures that you get, is not bad. And using your imagination, you can say, yeah, well, these are really, really big. These were giants. These were giants that are dead now, and then these are their bones, and you can really paint these up, give these some washes, and they make excellent terrain. Now, with the whole figure, I actually use these to practice my painting. So if I want to practice wet blending or you know make the weapon glow, kind of thing, I'll practice on these miniatures. Yes, these swords are much bigger than what you would normally be painting, but the techniques, the you know, the technique, the foundation of the technique is still the same, regardless of, you know, the scale you're painting. You have to remember, though, of course, you're painting something larger here, so you're gonna have, it's gonna be a little bit easier, you know, for certain effects. But you're practicing the technique, really. And so that's what I like about these little toy things. And who knows, maybe I'll really like it once it's painted. And maybe I'll do another video where I'll actually show these painted and see how they come out, right? Maybe I'll use them as surrogate giants, undead giants in some kind of indie rule, right? To test out rules. So inexpensive. And that's sort of the whole idea behind the video. And so, just to show you what I do, I take my model clippers and very carefully kind of, you know, chop off the head. And for this one's very easy. Some of them I can't get the heads because they are well attached to the body, right? So now I have the skull head. I can use it as a painted in metallics and use it as some kind of a, you know, a bust, right, for a necromancer's hall or something. I'm trying to focus, guys. I'm sorry if I can't. Camera's just not cooperating, but um, you know, giving these a little bit of a wash, you'll see like the details a little more. And there, that goes to my pile of bones that I'm working on. Okay, and here maybe this gives you a better idea. And you see the shields. I mean, little cracks or whatever. I mean, this is a toy. It's not the kind of scale that the detail that you would be playing with in your war games, but still excellent for terrain and for other things. You can get them very inexpensively. I wait till, you know, Christmas, and just like you go out in Halloween and get all these like Gribblies, you can go out for Christmas in dollar stores or other retailers. They sell these stuff in packs, very, very cheap. You know, I have bought a bunch of these, and I have all of my sort of, you know, pine trees like this, okay? And these make excellent terrain. You can never, for the price, you can't beat it, and you can never have enough trees in your collection. I also took some ornaments apart, some Christmas ornaments, and I made kind of my own little pines and stuff. And I use crazy glue and baking soda, and you kind of put your crazy glue on, put a little baking soda, and it creates this really hard kind of texture. And then I go over it with white paint, and you have a little bit of snow there, and it lasts forever. Do that on the bases as well. And so that's a nice way to do snow, ice, etc. Now, I build my own trees. This is a tinfoil tree. It's been with me for years. I build my own trees. I actually have a project of the week dedicated to just trees. And so I have tons and tons of trees that I built myself from scratch. And so I mix those with these kind of dollar trees. And, you know, I have some interesting kind of table setups that way. At least in my opinion, what's interesting, right? So there you go, folks. Those were some of the things. And there are tons of things, folks. You can go out again, like those little toy jeeps. If you're playing a post-apocalyptic game, or those little toy cars, they may not be so detailed, but you can actually. There's a lot of ways to kind of break them up and kind of melt them a little bit. You know, you can use a hot gun to kind of melt the plastic a little bit and make it look like it's squished metal. And you can have like a bunch of broken cars for those post-apocalyptic games and all that. So in a future video, if you guys are interested, I can certainly talk about that. But for now, that's going to be my topic for MJ's Tabletop Chat. All right, so thank you, folks. So in summary, just to finish up the video, uh, everyone enjoys their games very differently, and of course, there is a lot of different options that you have when you're wargaming. One of those options can be laser printed terrain. You can actually purchase laser printed terrain, and it's a very it's a good quality kind of wood, right? If you want to purchase laser cut terrain, you can. There's 3D printed terrain that's becoming more and more popular. There's plastics. There are a lot of options depending on your budget and time and what you like. For the studio, for me, I like building things, and that's the whole creations of tabletop creations. I just love creating my own stuff and, you know, gaming on a budget, basically. Okay, so for anyone gaming on a budget, these kinds of things may be a little bit more of interest. And so never underestimate the power of the dollar store. You can actually create some pretty cool things with some of these inexpensive kinds of things. Folks, have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, and be safe out there wherever you are, and enjoy your tabletop. We will talk very soon.